A very warm welcome and thank you for joining me in this particular video where I want to share something quite differently and unique. And this is how a company boosted its performance by 25%, leveraging from the board perspective itself. It doesn't matter whether you're a startup, small, medium, large organization, doesn't matter which part of the world. This works for all companies. Your executives could be having strategy meetings if you're a very small company. You could be a family business, you could be a private company, you could be a large enterprise. I want to share the 6 habits which led to this 25% company performance boost altogether. Let me just share my screen so that we can go through these 6 habits for 25% efficiency boost and enhance the company performance by 25%. So I want to share all these insights which can really help you to see how you can apply habits in your business, in your strategic meetings and the board level discussions, because I believe these are quite powerful and will really help you to forge forward. But before I go into that, I normally share challenges, and I want to share this common pattern of challenges which I've seen very many boards face, even in small companies. So the first one is inefficient meetings. I went to this manufacturing company. I'm a company accountability partner, so I help the board, the CEO, and the executive team to move to another level. And here's the thing, is that one thing that I've noticed is this inefficient meetings. So the meetings are not efficient and effective enough. Mainly, the focus is on short term. In small and medium companies, especially, what happens is they focus into the management accounts. So they're looking into the historical performance as to how they performed last month, how they performed over the last quarter. I'm not saying it's not important, it is important. But that forward thinking and that strategic linkage is missing as well. So this is one of the key elements I've seen. And by the way, imagine the time being spent in meetings, the leverage time being spent collectively, which is being really used to its maximum potential. The second one is lack of clear decision making. I've seen this in very many businesses. Decision making is still not up to par. In other instances, the directors or the senior executive team holding this particular meeting, what they do is they don't ask those incisive questions. When you challenge something constructively, what happens is that you will get a different perspective altogether. You'll be able to get options, you'll be able to get alternates, and you'll be able to get a clearer roadmap moving forward. You know exactly what your risks are. And in many instances, I've seen that clarity is missing in decision making. The third one is inadequate communication. That cross collaboration, as I would put it. It's not only collaboration, but the cross collaboration. So what do I mean by cross collaboration? Say you've got a board made up of CEO and the executive team, and you've got team members. But because of that lack of communication, not being intertwined or integrated, what happens is that information coming through to the board is not enough and adequate to really make those decisions. So there are lots of assumptions in instances which I've seen. So that lack of communication is there. And this is directly linked to the point which I raised about lack of clear decision making, which is not asking the right questions. And why does this happen is because the sound feedback mechanism is not in place, I would put it that way. So that is another key reason. And this leads to, by the way, lack of accountability. And the fourth point is resistance to change and innovate. So what do I mean by this is that I went into this one particular company and we were looking into certain decisions. It was a fairly mid-sized decision. I wouldn't say a very large decision, but we wanted to acquire an equipment. But here's the thing, is that the CEO, major shareholder in this one particular company, he kept on holding on. He didn't want to make that particular decision. And in fact, this was basically, getting the solar system in that particular manufacturing company. what would have happened is over 18 months or within 24 months, the payback was accelerated and the company would really benefit. But the CEO, he was holding on. He didn't want to make that decision because obviously there is an investment in that particular element. But the payback was quite accelerated payback. And this is the problem which I've seen in many businesses. They hold back. They don't want to hire the right people or a non-executive director. And this is the problem, is that they resist. They're in that comfort zone. They don't want to stretch their thinking. They don't want to take those risks either. So that is another key problem, which leads to lack of innovation as well. So what happens is the price points for the products and services are almost the same. But what happens is the slippages start happening because the customers and clients move to the competitors who are innovating. So these are some challenges which I was seeing, but at the same time, there's some opportunities which I want to share with you. We, at this particular era, have got some of the best opportunities. And one of the biggest opportunities, my dear friends, which you all know about, is the technology breakthroughs we are going through. AI, machine learning, ChatGPT, we've got everything. We get research, at our fingertips. We've got everything now, all the insights that we need to make informed decisions. So right now, technology breakthroughs are really a game changer for businesses. And here's the thing, it's no longer just about AI, machine learning, ChatGPT. Now there is this whole convergence of technologies, which means there's an integration coming in play as well, which can really exponentially help businesses to leverage. I discussed this more in a program I have, which is called the Impact Program. I'll talk to you towards the end. If you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description below. The other point I want to share with you is now you can have lean, impact-driven governance structures. What do I really mean? You don't need to hire expensive resources at the top anymore. You can now tap into the highest quality of personnel at that particular strategic level who can help you, who can guide you, who can really take you to another level. And I'll give you an example. There was this one particular company. I'm based here in UK. This company was in East Africa, and I handled in the growth of that one particular company by fourfold in 18 months post-pandemic. So this was again in the manufacturing sector itself. And the point I'm trying to raise is, at this particular point in time, you can tap into the global resources, the remote working, hybrid systems. Those are now in place. So take that as an opportunity for you to really grow and scale up. And the third one is now you can easily scale multifold. What do I mean? Growing profits and your revenues is one thing. That is, you're growing your profits and revenues with whatever resources that you have. So you're building into the capacity that you already have. But when it comes to the building blocks of scaling up, now it's even easier to do that than in the past. Because if you want an additional branch, or if you want to expand, if you want to hire new team members and all, the flexibility is there, the opportunities are there, the adaptability is there, and the risk factor is not that high. So you could sort of test it out as well along the way when you are looking into scaling up. So those opportunities are there. I'll be doing another video on financial management, specifically on the cash flows of businesses and what you really need to do, in my opinion, because my background is finance and I'll help organizations grow 20-fold. So I'll be doing another video on financials itself. So what I propose is, please like, share, comment, subscribe to this particular channel, because these videos, which I'm going to roll out from now on, they are going to be game-changing, I believe. It will give you more depth into these particular factors. But for this particular video, you can easily scale, my dear friends, multifold. So take that as an opportunity. And what I propose is, take a snapshot of this, or revisit this, or share it with your team members and do a brainstorming session on how you can really use these opportunities for your particular business. I would press upon you to look into that. Now, what we are going to do is we are now moving into the impact model itself. And by the way, before we go into this particular model, if you are interested in a complete deep dive into how you can have board excellence, mindset mastery, growth in your profits, growth in your revenues, as well as cost reduction plus risk management, then I have a complete program. I'm leaving a link below. Check that particular program out. I press upon you to check it out. Very small investment, but it can completely change the face of how you do business, in my opinion. So I press upon you to look into it. Let's go into the impact model itself. What does impact stand for? The I stands for intention, my dear friends. Again, like I said, it doesn't matter where you are, what you are doing, that collective intentions is very important. I have seen at that top level, boards are directionless. And this is my challenge to you. Ask your board to write 3 values of your particular company. Ask them to write the purpose, the vision of the company, and where you want to go, a specific point of destination. If you want to go from here to here, the timeline, and what do you mean by this? By way of additional revenue, by way of additional people, resources, equipment, whatever you want, branches, have that completely clear. So my challenge to you is get your team on that particular same page. And I promise you, in 3 months, look into your decision making. It's going to be more constructive. It will be more dynamic. So intentions are really powerful. Again, I don't care what size of company you have. This will work for your particular organization. The second is mindset. Failure is not failure. It is just an outcome. We all are where we are from the choices and decisions we have made so far. So at this particular point in time, you watching this particular video, you are at this particular level because of the choices you've made in life. So, luck, when they say luck is opportunity meeting preparedness, as I would put in. So it's like you are prepared and opportunities are there. There are multiple opportunities out there. So opportunity meeting preparedness is what luck is. So your mindset is very important. And chance favors the prepared mind, just as Louis Pasteur says. So what you need to do is have an open mind, have a growth mindset. Make sure you are open to new ideas and you have to test it out as well. The other point I want to share with you is people. And my question to you is, do you have the right people with the right resources, with the right tools, at the right time? Do you have that right fit in place? And value alignment is very important. So what I propose is conduct a culture audit. Once you conduct the culture audit, you will be able to have aligned the values of your company. It's very important to align values. And in one particular company, we did this and we were looking into the risk levels as well. So my risk appetite, I might be aggressive, or you might be conservative, and we are in the same business. So what's going to mean is our decision making is going to be different. But at the same time, it's going to be a constructive discussion where we can then make the right, effective decisions going forward. So it's very important to align people and align the values. Let's move to the other point, which is accountability. Now, whatever you do, wherever you are, accountability is key. And accountability comes when there's clarity in communication, where there is clear roles and responsibilities. I go into companies, they've got roles and responsibilities for their managers and executives and some of the seniors, which are outdated. They've not been updated either. So you need to upskill and you need to ensure there is no role duplicity or there are no two bosses. In many companies, I see this fuzziness there. and the feedback mechanism is right, you got the right KPIs in place. Those are pretty important. There are 4 feedback mechanisms. I'm not going to go into those ones. But again, if you invest in this particular program, you'll get another program at no additional investment, which is Power of Integration. And that is a coherent risk management system where I speak about the different types of feedback mechanisms as well. So please, I press upon you to look into that particular program. But here's the thing. Make sure you have key performance indicators and you have feedback mechanism in place. We then go into the C, which stands for cost leadership. Leverage is very important. I spoke about opportunities and I told you about the digitization as well. Find out what is it that you can add more efficiency in your company. Because the more efficient you are, the better decisions you'll make and the better systems you'll have. So cost leadership is very, 2 things matter in businesses which are very important. One is systems and the other one is leadership. So make sure you have the right systems in place. If you have the right systems in place, that will eliminate leakages and gaps as well. Executives and from your board members as well. You need to make sure that it makes financial sense and you are getting a sound return on investment. Which leads me to traction, my dear friends. And this is where I share certain tools and strategies with you. First and foremost, use AI to leverage routine board tasks. At the top, now we've got digital platforms. We've got so many portals out there, online platforms and online portals. I'm sure you might be using it, but my question to you and my challenge to you is, how can you make it even better than what you already have? So that's a question you need to pose to your board and see what else you can do. Just brainstorm an hour or so. It might just save you a little bit more money. The second point I want to share with you is now you can get AI to do summaries of your particular meeting. You don't need anybody to type. You just get all the bullet points and you get all the extracts of the meeting, summarized using AI. Then obviously you can then edit accordingly to make sure that all the points are there. The other thing is data analytics. And my question to you is, you may already be having data analytics, but where is the gap? What is the gap? What are specifics that you can do to improve your current data analytics? So ask those questions for your particular company to see what else you can add to your data analytics, because data is key and instrumental in everything that you do. It's going to help you for making decisions as well. Another thing, now there's this leadership shift. Like I mentioned, upskill. You need to have the right competencies. You need to see how you can even have reverse mentoring, which means the younger generation, they are so agile and they are so quick and they are quite switched on with AI. And maybe some of the matured senior executives, including myself, would need some help when it comes to this particular skill set. So reverse mentoring means that somebody younger in the company or outside the company who's going to mentor a senior leader in your company, because that will help, as I say, cross collaboration. It's going to help you to have a better set of quality of decisions that you can make for your company. The leadership shift has happened. The other point is emotional intelligence is really important. Empathy is very important. Compassion is very important. Having that authenticity is extremely important. This might be from the past, but what you need to do is you need now to really have that completely as a coherent form as far as your leadership is concerned. So have those in place and make sure that you capitalize on the resource that you already have to really grow your company. And finally, I want to share something about the koi fish here. If you take a koi fish and put it in a fish bowl, what's going to happen? The koi fish will grow only 2 inches. Take the same koi fish and put it into a river, and that same koi fish is going to grow 12 inches. And why is that the case? It's because of the risk out there. It's because of the challenges the koi fish is going to face. It's because of the opportunities and because of the environment out there. Similarly, just like the koi fish, you need to really work on your mental muscle. You need to work on your capabilities as well. You need to evolve so that you can move to another level altogether, my dear friends. So it's very important to upskill, to learn more, to experiment as well, and to make those mistakes. As you go along, you'll be making mistakes. I'll be making some mistakes as well. But that is the definition of progression. Climbing the mountain is not going to be easy. We are going to slip along the way. But our journey is to progress. And that is what my message to you is. So, my dear friends, look, I got the impact model. Check it out below, link below, where I share a video on this.